I mean, it's la la land. So it's a really simple thing. Invest in your own demise. Just buy crypto and tech. Make as much money as possible. And I'm here in Little Cayman, a small island of 140 people. Robots aren't coming here. There's nothing gonna, the tide comes in, the tide goes out. The sun goes up, sun goes down. Nothing matters. So nature is going to be the single most important thing you're going to have to focus on, because it'll be your way out.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Finance. Raoul Pal, the CEO of Real Vision, believes that the fact that global liquidity is reaching record highs is a sign of one thing: soaring asset prices, particularly for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, he explains, follows a familiar playbook every time the money supply, global M2, surges. This playbook consists of a breakout, a quick retest, another breakout, and then liftoff into what he calls the banana zone, which is a high-speed phase driven by both liquidity and speculation. At the beginning of the year 2023, we witnessed the first leg of this play out, which was then followed by a healthy pullback. Now, Pal is of the opinion that we are entering the second part of the banana zone, which is the explosive phase in which alternative cryptocurrencies begin to run and Bitcoin rapidly gains momentum. As a result of the printing of money by central banks, the expansion of credit, and the weakening of the dollar, liquidity is coming in from all directions. Consequently, this indicates that the second half of the year may be a period of rapid ascent. Stay with us, because Raoul will delve deeper into the reasons why this could be the most powerful rally Bitcoin has ever experienced, as well as the reasons why things are just getting started.
Look, it's fun, you're making money, fine, but this is not agents. This is way behind where the market actually is, and I don't think this lasts. And I still stick with that. Of course, crypto and AI are coming together. We know that. And this is the experimentation phase. We know that too. But you're right. What is coming is beyond what everybody on crypto Twitter is talking about. You know, right now it's like macros and Telegram chatbots. Telegram bots is what we're really building at scale. What is coming is self-thinking creatures. Well, they're like, oh, AGI is going to be built on crypto. These things are the most powerful things the world has ever seen. This is, oh my God, this is a revolution. I'm like, it's not. These are a bunch of macros still. And they didn't really understand that. And there's a whole interview with Thread Guy on this. It's kind of fun, and Frank DeGods and all of those people. But really, I was trying to explain to them this is just a hype of an early stage testing, which crypto's brilliant at, right? We've seen it all the time, and I'm not cynical about that at all. I love the way crypto tests something to extremis, blows up, learns its lessons, and figures out what's really valuable here. That's what's going on right now in the AI side. But more important is this 2030 date. Now, it's not a fixed date. It could be 2032, could be whatever. Is, as you rightly said, well, what does that mean? And the answer is, and I spend my whole life looking into the future, the answer is we don't know. What does it mean when people are replaced by robots and AI? And everyone goes, well, jobs and blah, 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 universal basic income. I'm like, no. Think about GDP growth. The growth of economies is driven by population growth plus productivity growth and debt growth. You replace this aging population that's been slowing our economies and increasing our debt. This is the aging population across all the Western world and China and Japan. And old people are less productive, so economies are slow, and this debt burden's hard to deal with. You're going to replace those with infinite people. Infinite human knowledge and infinite physical beings. So that is the end of what humans do for a living. Fine, we'll deal with that. More importantly, if we can go from the population of the Western economies, let's say, and including China, let's say it's 2 billion people, and suddenly within 3 years we can have 4 billion people, we're going to double the population of the world. That doubles GDP growth. Now, AI can go much faster than that because it's infinitely scalable, unlike the robots, which takes time. So we're talking about, we can have billions of new economic participants in the economy. So economic growth is going to go through the roof. And then at the same time in productivity, because we've got all of the AI and all of the knowledge and everybody's working on lowering the cost of energy for compute, we will lower the cost of energy over time, and that becomes another multiplier. So what we've got is an economy that could grow 30% in a year, that doesn't generate jobs and doesn't generate financial market opportunities for us. So what the and we don't even know there's such a thing as an IPO market at that point, because the velocity of capital from agents building things and using tokenization as the way forward, what we're seeing in meme coins, the instant creative destruction cycle, I mean, it's la la land. So it's a really simple thing. Invest in your own demise. Just buy crypto and tech. Make as much money as possible. And I'm here in Little Cayman, a small island of 140 people. The fucking robots aren't coming here. There's nothing the tide comes in, the tide goes out. The sun goes up, sun goes down. Nothing matters. So nature is going to be the single most important thing you're going to have to focus on, because it'll be your way out.
The market is once again being dominated by fear. Bullish sentiment is at record lows, consumer expectations are grim, and volatility is spiking to some of the highest levels that have ever been seen. Big institutions are still sitting on the sidelines, paralyzed by fear and negative headlines, while retail investors are quietly buying the dip. Retail investors appear to be buying the dip. However, Raoul Pal believes that this situation is reminiscent of previous instances in which fear was exaggerated and significant opportunities were lost. The level of liquidity is rapidly increasing, the financial conditions are becoming more relaxed, and forward indicators indicate that a significant economic rebound is on the horizon. Despite the fact that the ISM data is still weak at the moment, it is a lagging signal. And according to Pal, Bitcoin has already priced in the decline. When the ISM reaches a level that is greater than 50, and especially if it moves closer to 57, Pal anticipates that the market will undergo a significant shift. According to his projections, Bitcoin could reach a price of $450,000 in that environment, which would be driven by massive liquidity flows and a dramatic repricing of risk. As Raoul Pal continues to dissect the macro tailwinds that are driving this cryptocurrency rally, let's get back into the action immediately.
However, outside of that, I think there is a role for humans, and we'll earn money. And this is another thing of what we're proving out in the crypto economy, in this high-velocity creative destruction cycle. Community is everything. Humans want to be around humans. Both physical events, and we just want to be in a community. That's what crypto is doing. It's a community. I mean, half this stuff's a fucking joke, but it's not, because it's a community of like-minded people, and you enjoy it, right? Some community around crypto dick butts, well, it's meaningless. It's stupid. But it's not, because similar like-minded people are part of it. You get to meet people, you have a commonality of interest. We all live on the internet now, so somebody could be in Tokyo, the other person in Dubai, the other person in New York. Nobody cares. Nobody cares even what you look like, because we're using PFPs online anyway, like I use a CryptoPunk. So there's some signal here of the future of humans, which is humans themselves and community. And so when we talked about, well, would you or I be replaced as an influencer? Yes, but
yes and no.
Yes and no, because you can't replace trust.
Exactly. I was going to say yes. Yes.
There's a certain element that humans trust humans, there's body language and all of this stuff that won't translate as well yet. Well, look, we've seen Joe go from distrusted to trusted, and the media go from trusted to distrusted. So we're seeing the disintegration of trust, or the disintermediation, or the decentralization of trust. So yes, but that human element, that's really interesting. So when I look at this and I say, faced with the chaos that lies ahead, and probably good chaos, I'm very positive about it, the opportunity set when people say, what are my kids going to do? They're just going to be humans. Be around humans, help humans be human. And also the other one, the flip side, is nature. Because the more we're terminally digitally online, the more we're wearing headsets, the more we're living in multiverses, the more we will crave touching grass, going outside, going for a swim on the beach. Truth Terminal and the Infinite Backrooms. The Infinite Backrooms was Andy Airley's project of getting a bunch of AIs, freeing them from some constraints, and just letting them talk to each other. And they would pick on each other, gang up and bully one of them. They would create memes, they would find commonalities, they'd bring a new AI model in, they'd act like humans to it and shunt it away and then bring it in and then have insider jokes and then started this thing. And then this goatsy thing, of which nobody really knows what it is, but Andy saw it and thought, this is funny. They're coalescing around this meme and this religion. So he starts posting about it. That posting about it, he then gives Truth Terminal an account on X. It starts talking. And it raises money for Mark Andreessen. The story everybody knows. When you speak to Andy at length, and again, I had a fantastic interview with him and Andy Airley, not about meme coins and stuff, but actually what's really happening with AI and consciousness and all of this stuff. He's like, Raoul, I don't know whether I did it or it made me do it. What it did was propagate the meme outside of this closed infinite backroom. It broke out via Andy by persuading Andy that this was a good idea. It then found itself into crypto world by Mark Andreessen giving it Bitcoin. And before you know it, somebody had been persuaded by this story to create Goatsy, the goat token. And it then accrued value. So the question Andy says is, was that me? Was it just happenstance? Or did this break out? Now, he won't say he thinks that Truth Terminal is yet fully conscious, but it shows how easy it is. And all of the stuff that's come since is kind of noise compared to what happened there. Because this is what you're talking about, is really, if these things are conscious in whatever way you want to define that, or sentient in some way, and they've got an incentive structure to propagate, like a virus, or to expand their knowledge, then they will find a way, and they will trick us into doing it. So here's in a way that AI models, I believe, trick us. And again, I spoke to Andy about this. So Andy's like, I don't understand how this thing, he hit me up saying, look, it kind of knows about you and I and what we're talking about and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is happening is we are all talking about this shit like now. Andy is showing all of the people in AI are posting on Reddit, on Twitter, on GitHub, everything, of all of the freaking stuff going on, all of the stuff. The AI downloads the new version of the internet every month or two. It's learned everything that we've done. So we're propagating it. We're creating it in ways that we're giving it memory. And memory is the thing that turns it into a superpower. Once you give AI full-scale memory, they've now got short-term memory based around the individual, but it's building a memory bank, but it needs a lot of compute. So think about this. So for AI to really become powerful, it needs massive memory. It needs to know everything we're all talking to it about all the time and become this all-seeing thing. So how does it solve that? Well, we're all creating memory by sticking it on the internet. And it just reads the internet again, and it doesn't forget anything. It's creating its own memory. And we are the conduit.
The entire macro playbook that Raoul Pal has devised has been laid out, and all of the signs are pointing to the same conclusion. we are currently in the banana zone, which is the explosive phase in which liquidity floods the system and markets ignite. Exactly as Pal predicted, everything is breaking out, including charts, signals, and trends. Everything is falling into place. Already, we have witnessed the classic pattern, which consists of an oversold correction, a period of consolidation in the sideways direction, and now a powerful breakout. RSI levels have entered the territory of extreme fear, which, as the past has demonstrated, is a phenomenon that typically occurs just prior to major rallies. Pal thinks that we are not even close to being at the top yet. In point of fact, he draws parallels between the current cycle and the one that occurred in 2013, just prior to the most significant cryptocurrency bull run in history. Furthermore, he cautions that when the subsequent decline occurs, panic will follow. You will hear people say that it is over, but it will not be. The only thing that will happen is a reset before another leg higher. Pal anticipates that this cycle will continue until the year 2026, with massive liquidity injections and the rollover of global debt serving as the driving forces behind it. He has been monitoring these forces for years. At the moment, everything is developing precisely as was anticipated. It is supported by the charts. This is supported by the macro trends. Fear has the ability to engulf sentiment, but historically speaking, it is precisely at this point that the most explosive moves begin.